Hello guys, my name is Glurmit and today I'm back again with another kit reveal. Today, Merrin has been announced. We already knew she was coming. It was just a matter of time until we see her. And let me be honest guys, I'm liking what I'm seeing. So let me just pop it up on the screen and we can take a look right now at her kit. Well, to begin with, she is not a leader. She's only a support and she's a Night Sister. She is Dark Side. So she's only going to be used with the Night Sisters as expected. But not having a leader is very, very important because it means that we're going to be using existing leaders. And you'll see which one I'm going to go on and explain that will be best to use throughout the video. So right down here is suggesting we use her with Talzin, Asajj, Daka and Zombie. And that does make sense. I'm actually kind of a bit jealous that Zombie there looks amazing. Much better than the Zombie we have in game. I hope that maybe we get a texture rework. That would be pretty cool. So Merrin, Dark Side, Night Sister support. We know this already. And then we have her basic ability. Now, I am wondering, guys, are we actually going to be getting a Zombie rework or just Zombie change in general? Because just look at the Zombie on the screen here. It does not look like the Zombie we have in the game. And if I show you guys in game right now, and we go to the Night Sister Zombie, they do not look the same at all, right? They do not look like the same character. So maybe we're going to be getting some sort of Zombie rework. Maybe that's going to be coming at some point. I don't know if we'll get a rework, but at least a texture update would be really nice. Anyway, back to the kit reveal. So the text reads, deal special damage to target enemy and inflict 2 stacks of plague for 3 turns. Now, this is really nice because part of the Talzin team is all about spreading that plague and getting it on everyone. Lots and lots of stacks, and then you start doing a lot of damage as time goes on. And this looks like Merrin is going to be very, very good for applying plague. 2 stacks is nice, and for 3 turns is decent. It's going to allow you to stack it up, especially as it's a basic. So this means when you call Talzin, and Talzin uses her special, and she calls everyone to assist, that means you're also going to be applying those stacks of plague as well. Not to mention that the animation just looks really cool. I love to see it. It gives me flashbacks to the missions on Dathomir in Fallen Order. Then we have the first special, and this one is a Zeta. And now the interesting thing is that it doesn't even unlock until Gear 12. This is really strange to me, guys, and this is something I noticed when I read through the kit just now. Wow, the ability doesn't even activate until Gear 12. So let's read what it does. Final text, inflict 2 stacks of plague on all enemies for 3 turns and all Night Sisters recover 10% health and protection. Then Merrin is going to dispel all buffs and debuffs on herself and gains magic stealth. The next time another ally is inflicted with a debuff or defeated, Merrin loses magic stealth, dispels all debuffs, and revives a random Night Sister ally with 50% health. So magic stealth cannot be targeted, defeated, damaged, or gain turn meter, immune to buffs, debuffs, and taunt effects. If no allies are present, lose magic stealth. This to me is just crazy. I understand why it's behind a gear wall now, but guys, let me break this down for you. As long as Night Sister Zombie is alive and functioning, Merrin will not be targetable. Merrin will be able to ignore taunt, for example. Now, obviously, it says when an ally is defeated, she loses it. So it's on a 3-turn cooldown. So for me, this just seems really interesting. I'm just wondering how it would work with Night Sister Zombie, because the thing is, Night Sister Zombie is going to be dying all the time, and that's going to be getting rid of this buff, right? So you're going to lose this buff. You're going to be able to be targeted. You're not going to be able to ignore taunt. But when that happens, Night Sister Zombie revives, and then another Night Sister revives on top of it, which is going to make it really tough, which basically means to be able to beat Night Sisters on defense, or say you're using them on offense, you would bring Merrin, you would bring Night Sister Zombie, and for example Daka. You would have to go through Daka first. We all know how this works, because Daka can revive everyone, and Night Sisters is not like a percentage chance, it's just a revive. Then you have to kill Merrin next, because if you don't, when you kill anyone else, they're going to revive, because Merrin's going to dispel this buff, and the Night Sister's going to revive, and then you're back at square one, and that could be Daka. Now, obviously, teams like Django, so maybe Trench in the future with Django there, maybe even more Mandalorians with Django there, or teams like General Skywalker, or even bringing a weapon tech on Wat Tambor. Those sorts of teams are still going to be winning because you prevent revives. So you're still going to be going through them. Merrin's not going to be as big an issue, but against any team that does not prevent revives, this can be really, really tough, because what's going to happen is you're going to be stuck behind this endless cycle where Merrin's going to gain this buff, you're not going to be able to attack her, and then at the same time, when you're forced to hit zombie and you have no other choices, you're then going to be in a position where you revive their team. I love this character. I think she is amazing, and I think it's the lift the Night Sisters needed. It's just incredibly amazing. Alright, and next up we have the second special. Dathomir will be your grave. It's a 3-turn cooldown. The ability looks amazing, and let's read the text. Deal special damage to target enemy and stun them for 1 turn. If this defeats an enemy, inflict 4 stacks of purge on all enemies for 3 turns, and dispel buffs on each enemy with 2 or more stacks of plague on them. I keep on saying purge instead of plague, so I do apologize, guys. There's just too much words in kits these days. So this one looks really good. It looks like a decent ability. I'm kind of inclined to say you'll mainly be using a basic and then using this one when you need to gain this buff. But for the most part, I think this is a good ability. I think the animation is really cool, but I don't know where you would use this. I mean, the stun is nice, but you already kind of have loads of stuns on the team. You have a Sarge has a stun on the basic, Daka has a stun on the basic. So another stun is nice, but isn't needed. What I do like is that if you defeat someone, you're inflicting 4 stacks of plague on all enemies. And we know that plague is so pivotal in a Talzin lineup. So let's take a look here, guys. And let's take a look at the first unique. And this is a Omicron. It unlocks at gear 4. So maybe there's some low gear viability here. And the final text reads, the first time a Night Sister ally is defeated each encounter, Merrin gains 100% turn meter, which can't be prevented. Whenever a Night Sister ally is defeated or revive, she gains 15% and an additional 2% per relic amplifier level of the defeated or revived character's turn meter, which can't be prevented. So for example, Daka dies, right? Daka is relic 5, so you're going to gain 15%, and then you're going to gain an additional 10% turn meter 5 times 2. So you're going to be gaining 25% turn meter. Now let's say you have Daka at relic 7. All of a sudden, the turn meter gain is going to be a lot higher. So this kind of leads me to say Night Sisters maybe should be having higher relics. I'm saying level relic 7s would be really nice here, because it's going to be boosting that turn meter. Now, if I'm honest, and this is just from reading the kit alone, I would actually argue the character you want to be at the highest possible relic for this team to be insane is actually going to be Zombie. Because if Zombie's at relic 7, 8, or even relic 9, I mean, we can work this out here, guys. I'm not going to do it with my head because I am terrible at maths. So let's say Zombie is relic 9. So we're going to be gaining the usual 15% turn meter, but then we're going to be gaining 2% for each relic amplifier, and then we add on the 15, and each time Zombie dies, we're getting 33% turn meter. Now, let's just think for 1 second. What game mode is this in? Well, this is just the standard ability. We haven't even got to the Grand Arena Omicron, and there's something else I want to bring up here, guys. And that is another Night Sister, who a lot of us applied the Omicron thinking it's going to be insane, and we never actually really saw the value. But all of a sudden, when a Night Sister dies, so we said 33% turn meter, you're now going to be gaining even more, because look, guys, you're gaining an additional 10%. So we're now at 43% turn meter. And then just to make things even crazier, the Omicron reads the following. While in Grand Arenas, whenever an ally is defeated or revived, Merrin gains 100% turn meter, which can't be prevented. At the start of her turn, inflict 1 stack of plague for 3 turns. I did also forget that while she has allies, her speed is set to 0 and she's immune to turn meter gain and removal. So she is a very, very interesting, very, very complex character. But what is going to be happening here, guys, is basically she relies on her team to die. So let's go back to this, and let's say you're gaining 43% turn meter. You basically want Zombie to just die and die and die. this is a really, really interesting take, and it does make me wonder if we're going to see the days come back where people leave zombie unmodded. The reason behind this initially was because you wanted them to die and die and die, and to feed so much turn meter. She's a really, really interesting character. And then we have the next Zeta. Whenever an ally is inflicted with a debuff, if Merrin has 0% turn meter, the spell will debuff from that ally, and Merrin gains 25% turn meter, which can't be prevented. If Merrin has more than 0% turn meter, she gains 10% turn meter instead, which can't be prevented. Whenever an enemy is damaged, all Night Sister allies recover protection, and whenever Night Sister allies revive, grant all allies instant defeat immunity for 2 turns, which can't be copied or dispelled or prevented. And there's a 20% chance, plus 10 per relic amplifier, to inflict all enemies with 1 stack of purge until the end of the turn. Guys, I just want to put it out there and say this is broken. I don't mean broken in a bad way, but it's just crazy. There's so many possibilities here. The instant defeat immunity means that teams like Treya are going to really struggle against you. The instant defeat immunity means you may, in a random world, right? In a random world, you may be able to beat some crazy teams. I don't think this would ever beat JMK, for example, because you're gaining turn meter, and you don't gain turn meter in that team, so that's kind of out of the question. It also means that in terms of counters, Huxley just can prevent their turn meter gain. So there are, you know, ways around this already. Don't think it's gonna be the craziest team ever, but it just looks so good, so interesting, and something we've never seen before. But what I really like is the combination of Asajj Omicron and Merrin Omicron, because when you combine both of these, just in general, even just in general play, having the Asajj Omicron is really nice for the turn meter. But obviously when she has the Omicron, she's going to be gaining 100% anyway. So basically the Omicron is just going to bypass a lot of this. It reminds me a little bit of Hondo's kit, and how in the past we've seen Hondo, he basically starts with like 0 speed or whatever, really low speed, and then his Omicron basically gives him that first turn. And once he gets that first turn, all of a sudden things go crazy. Honestly, she is incredible. She looks like she could be a real pain. The only thing is you need to make sure that your team is constantly dying and reviving. So modding will be very specific. Guys, what do you think of Merrin? Are you excited for her? Do you think she's going to be incredibly good? I think she's going to be good. Do I think she's going to be better than Cal? No. I think she's going to be similar to Seer. Seer isn't terrible. Let's be real here, guys. But Merrin looks really powerful. The real takeaway from this is that you're going to have to be very specific with your modding. And on top of that, you're going to have to kind of think twice when it comes to how high you take your Night Sisters. This is definitely a team that is required for high relics. Now, we may get a Dathomir mission that requires Merrin, so maybe there's a reason to take them to high relics anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. My name is Glurmit, and I hope you will have a glowing day.